Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Funders and Founders. I'm here with the founder of Cheek.com, Lori Cheek, the winner of Live 3.0. Hi, Lori.
Hi, how are you?
Great. Great to have you all the way from New York.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Of course. And you were the most popular booth. You had so many votes that it was even hard to count, right?
I did have a hard time counting that high.
So what is Cheek.com? Tell us.
So we call it online dating reverse. Perhaps you've seen an attractive stranger in a cafe or the elevator. You could hand them a card that says, for example, act natural, we can get awkward later. So that person's been cheeked. And then they would go to the website listed on the card, cheek.com, and type in the code, and that would lead to my online dating profile. So it's like a reverse engineered dating site where the initial interaction starts offline, and it's a privacy protected way of handing a note to someone that says, I want to see you again, without the personal information on a typical business card.
Oh, how cool. So I see that kind of people all the time. Like someone cute walks by and I just don't have a way of saying, hi, I'm interested, because it's awkward.
I think we need to get you a deck of cheek cards.
I think so. All right. So how did you come up with this idea? Are you looking for a boyfriend yourself and you were just thinking of that?
So I was out to dinner with, I was an architect at the time, and I was out to dinner with a fellow architect, just a friend, and I had excused myself from the table, and when I came back, I saw that he'd scribbled on the back of his business card, "Want to have dinner?" And as he and I were leaving the restaurant, he slid that card to a woman sitting at a nearby table. And I remember looking back thinking how mysterious of a move that was, that this handsome stranger handed that card that says, "I want to have dinner with you."
Yeah.
But minus all that information on the other side of that business card. So there was this huge light bulb that went off above my head, and I immediately started brainstorming about how I could make this idea come to life.
Wow. Who have you cheeked?
I've probably handed out 2,000 of these cards.
Wow.
Luckily, I haven't been on 2,000 dates, but I did end up dating a guy that I had put a card in his back pocket, and he ended up finding it, and it said this card could change your life. We met the next week, and we dated for 4 months. But in addition to this this normal guy, I've cheeked Russell Simmons,
Wow.
Uma Thurman,
Nice.
Willem Dafoe, Adrian Grenier, Stephen Baldwin.
Wow.
I mean, actually lots of celebrities, and the reason I'm kind of targeting celebrities is to get the word out. If any of them ultimately think this is a cool idea, A, they have money, and
sure.
B, maybe they'll mention it on a talk show or who knows where.
Yeah. So a lot of our members here at Funders and Founders, they want to do a startup, right? That's what we call Startupization. Anyone can do a startup. How did you decide to make the jump? I mean, as far as I understand, you're bootstrapping this, and this is like your baby. You're doing everything to make this a huge thing. So how did you start?
Yeah, so I've never really done anything halfway in life. Like, if someone hands me a hula hoop, I'm going to become a specialist in hula hooping, which is actually what I did for a while. Somebody gave me a hula hoop, and I got kind of serious about it, and I ended up being a hula hoop instructor at Equinox. But just like even this little card idea, the next weekend, I remember getting a group of friends together, and we had been in a cooking class, and we got a couple of bottles of wine, and we just started writing down these funny pickup lines, thinking of what would be funny to hand to someone. So for a year, I just started trying to figure out how to bring this business together, walking around in circles like, I've got this great idea, I've got this great idea. And everyone kept saying, that is genius, you've got to make it happen. Then I had people emailing me saying, I just saw the love of my life in the subway, I needed your card, build this business. So at a Mardi Gras party one night, there was a guy that was like, that's a great idea. Let's sit down on Monday and really make it happen. So we sat down on Monday, and within a week we had a serious business plan and started making it all come together. So we applied for a patent, the trademark, and we started with the logo, got our Twitter handle, Facebook, and just took it from there. And it took 1 year for us to launch the business. So our 2-year birthday is coming up on May 3rd. So
Wow.
I'm very excited about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, you know, in any business, there's always the believers and the doubters, and sometimes the haters even. So today I saw in TechCrunch, they said this could be either the most awesome or the creepiest idea. Do you think people feel like this is creepy?
I mean, I've heard it a few times in the past couple of years, but I think people don't really understand what an elaborate tool this is. Like, people hand the cocktail napkin to someone with their phone number on it. I mean, has anyone ever said that's creepy? For me, I think it's kind of romantic. It's saying, I want to see you again. You're hot. And I think there are all these situations where you wouldn't necessarily walk up to someone and say, excuse me, I think you're attractive, let's meet for a coffee tomorrow. Whether it be in a grocery store or perhaps you're in the subway, and I don't know, people don't speak in the subway.
Right.
I just think it's an intriguing gesture. Half of the emails I get from people through Cheeked, they end up saying, wow, I don't know what this is, but I'm intrigued. And that was the whole thing when that guy initially gave that woman that card. I remember thinking, that is so intriguing. I loved the mystery behind it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think it's creepy at all, but I don't think these people should knock it until they try it.
I agree. So let's look into the future, right? 5 years from now, let's assume that everyone's going to use Cheeked. Everyone's just looking for a date. And how do you think it's going to change the world? I mean, we kind of live in this hyper, computerized society. People on the subway don't ever talk, even though a lot of them are really lonely, right? How are you going to change the world with Cheeked?
So I feel like the timing of me actually launching this business was great, because it's like we're more connected via the internet than we ever have been. And in a time where everyone's so connected, I think we're becoming physically disconnected. So, I mean, for example, do you know when you're on a train platform, for example, this is what everyone's doing.
Yep.
And if people just take this to looking up, they might meet someone. They could be missing the love of their life if they just weren't on technology all the time. And one of my favorite ways to give a card is when someone's on their phone like this, is to slip the card like this, and I keep going. And tell me you wouldn't be intrigued if someone did that to you.
Oh, yes. This is so romantic. I love it. Now, how do you feel this is going to impact sort of the way that whether people are going to go on the traditional dating sites? Are dating sites even going to exist in a few years?
Well, I mean, dating is a major market, as you know. Like in America, there are 96 million single adults above the age of 18, and 20 million of those people are online dating. And there are I think about 1,500 dating sites in America right now. And I mean, what are the chances that the love of your life is actually going to be on that same dating site and at the same time? So I don't know. If there was like a kayak.com of dating sites, I think that would make some sense. Maybe that's my new idea.
Maybe that's it.
I gotta go. I gotta get started. Yeah. So I mean, I don't think this is going to end. People are constantly looking for love. It's really why we're on this planet in a way, to reproduce. So yeah, I think there's a big market in creating the answer to online dating, and I'm definitely taking a stab at it.
So when we threw you into the, so to say, Shark Tank of investors, right? Because when you won, you pitched your startup to, what was it, 7 investors, and sometimes they're not necessarily always excited about the first idea that comes their way. But when they asked you, what is your plan to make this big, you said, what did you say? You said, I'm Lori Cheeked, and I have put everything on the line to make this business work, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've surrendered everything that I've ever known. I had a career in architecture for 15 years, and even my parents, when I told them I'm building a dating site, I remember my mom kept asking me, so how's your little company doing? And I was always like, Mom, it's not a little company. So I went full force ahead. I believed in this idea so much, I ended up quitting my job a year into the idea building. And now I'm telling my parents I'm no longer building structures, I'm building relationships.
Wow.
So I'm still using my career in architecture.
Great. What is your advice to people that want to build a dating site or a startup in general?
I mean, I think you really have to believe in your idea enough to have the amount of passion to make it happen. I think it takes full-on devotion. I'm a first-time entrepreneur, and I've taken a crash course in building a business. I mean, I've clearly made a trillion mistakes. I think it's important to have good mentors. I wish I'd known in the beginning what I know now. If someone had handed me one piece of paper that said like 5 to-dos and 5 not to-dos of starting your own business, and I just thought, oh yeah, this is going to be easy. I'll build a website. There you have it.
Yeah.
Boom. And that's not how it works. But I just say, go for it and don't look back and just make it happen.
All right. So I know that you want people here on the West Coast and anywhere to try these cards, right?
Yes.
So what can we offer to our viewers today?
So we're offering a 50% off discount if you use the word tech in the coupon code section. So you can get 50% off your cards. And we have a standard deck of cards. We have a doggy deck of cards for people that are walking their dogs. And we have a Wall Street deck of cards. And you can customize your own deck of cards to say whatever you want. So you could even write them in any language. And the nice thing is they work all over the world. So I can get these cards in New York City, and I can get on a plane and go to Shanghai, and it still leads to my online profile.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much. Guys, watch out because you just might get cheeks.